Welcome back to Mr. Slover's Math. Today we're going to talk about surface area and volume of pyramids. So here's a warm-up to get us thinking about just math in general. And then down here it's asking us to find the surface area of a pyramid. We're going to use the following formula, which is a half PL plus B. So the uppercase P is the perimeter of the base. We saw that before when we talked about surface area of a prism. L is the slant height, so that's a little bit new. We haven't really seen that before. And then uppercase B we've seen before, which is the area of the base. So a pyramid comes to a point. So it's still a three-dimensional figure, but it comes to a point. Unlike a prism, which is a box, this does not. Right? It's not a box. It doesn't look like a box. Okay. The sides or the faces are all triangles. Okay, so whereas a prism, all of the sides or the faces would be rectangles. Okay, so that's the big difference between the two. Different examples where you might see them: video games, top of a building, things like that. So example 1 says, name the pyramid and find the surface area, round to the nearest tenth if needed. So here's our formula, half PL plus B. So the half is always going to be in there. That's the formula. The uppercase P is the perimeter of the base. So I outline the base. It is a square, so I have a square pyramid. To find the perimeter of an object, you add up all of the sides. So 10 plus 10 plus 10 plus 10 is 40. My slant height is 12. So your slant height is different than your height. The height of the figure is straight up and down. So it would be following my cursor, straight up and down would be the height. And when you go to the doctor's office, they ask how tall you are, you stand up straight. The slant height would be me just leaning against the wall at the doctor's office and asking them to take my height. Okay, so difference between the two. Your slant height is the height of the triangle, the height of your face, which we do use. So I plug everything in. I have my perimeter was 40. My L, which is my slant height, is 12. It tells me that. The area of the base is 100. Because it's a square, I do 10 times 10, base times height, and I get 100. Plug it in, and I get 340 centimeters squared. We're still talking about surface area, so I still have something squared. Example 2 is just two more examples of the same thing. So if I look at letter B, it's still a square pyramid. My perimeter is 12 plus 12 plus 12 plus 12. What's in red is my base. Add it all together, I get 48. My slant height is 15. The area of the base is base times height, so 12 times 12 is 144. Plug everything into the formula. I already have everything identified. The uppercase P, lowercase l, uppercase B. Plug everything in, I get 504 square feet. So example 3 is just some true or false, and you're correcting the statements that are false. And then down here we get into the volume. So the volume of a pyramid is area of the base times height divided by 3. So notice my surface area uses the slant height, whereas my volume uses the height of the figure. Okay, so over here, here's the slant height. I want the height of the figure. I want the center one. I want to know how tall the actual figure is. And just like with the previous volume, we label it with cubic units. So here's my base. It is a rectangle, so it's a rectangular pyramid. The height of the figure is 10. The area of my base is base times height, which is 12 times 8. So the area of the base times the height divided by 3 gives me 320 cubic feet. Letter B is the same idea, rectangular pyramid, 18 times 5 gives me my base, the area of my base. The height of my figure is 11. Plug that in. 90 times 11 divided by 3 is 330 cubic inches. And then example 5 is just 2 more examples doing the same thing. Notice though on letter B, my height of my figure is on the outside of my shape, and that is okay. It's telling me the height of that pyramid is 12. So I just make sure to use that. Height of my pyramid, h, is 12. And then number 6 is asking you to classify your figures. Remember, you're classifying by the base. So here's my base. It looks like a rectangle, so it's a rectangular prism. I haven't got to cone yet, but I thought maybe you have seen a cone before, so I put it in there. Letter C is a pyramid. It's a pentagonal pyramid because my base has 5 sides. Letter B is not a pyramid. It does come to a point, but my base is round. Okay, pyramids and prisms do not have shapes that are round. Then finally, letter D is a 2-dimensional shape, and it is a triangle. So here's your formula. We're using area of the base, which we've seen before. Height we've seen before. The only new aspect is in our surface area when we talk about the slant height, which is this lowercase cursive